Hello everyone. So in this lesson, we're going to look at the significance of data science, and basically we're going to understand why it's important to analyze data and understand the kinds of data and what happens, when we have so much data. And we'll just go ahead and jump right in. So when we look at the a basic average life in the world today, where we're interconnected, you'll notice that we have a lot of companies, a lot of internet usage, and a lot of data is being generated every second. For instance, Twitter generates over 500 billion tweets daily, and there are about 3.5 billion searches a day just from Google alone. So you can think about WhatsApp and other companies like IBM and the kind of data they generate. Also, we can think about Tesla and the kind of data Tesla generates from a connected car. So all these are, kinds of ways where data is being generated constantly. Now, this is just a simple image that sums up and gives a brief overview of all we've just some of the items we've discussed about right now. Now, before we talk about data, it's important that we look into what data is. Now, a bit is a basic unit that is used to store information on digital systems. So a bit can be a Boolean value, usually a true or false value, or a value of 0 and 1. Now, a byte is a arrangement of 4 bits of 8 bits. A nib is an arrangement of 4 bits, and once you have 1,000 bytes, that is what a kilobyte is. When you have 1,000 kilobytes, you get a megabyte down to a zettabyte, which is 1,000 zettabytes will give you 1 yottabyte, which is a septillion bytes. So that's a very large volume of data that can potentially hold the data in the universe. So that's a bit of a short refresher on data. Now, if you think about it, your phones, your smart devices, your smart watches, your laptops, and your tablets, they constantly transmit information from Wi-Fi devices through GSM or data companies. You always update your location when you turn on your data service. Also, for your phone, you could have call records, missed calls. You'd also have call track data. Whenever you browse websites, there's data collected from the clicks from the sites you visit. When you play games, these games have an interconnection with other social media apps. For instance, you can download some games that want you to access your Facebook or your Instagram and such stuff. Also, you have companies such as Netflix and Google that sometimes, and YouTube that sometimes request or suggest some kinds of information or ads based on your past history. So that's all about it. So the problem is there's about 463 exabytes of data that will be created in the future daily by the year 2025. So we're going to have a lot of data. And basically about 2.5 quintillion bytes, that's 1 exabyte of data, is generated daily, and that's sourced from IBM. So the problem is we're having a lot of data. That data is getting large and big, and if you want to become the champion or the king, you'd actually have to be able to actually analyze that data and extract information, which brings us back to data science. Now, basically as a person, like I mentioned earlier, what you do online is gathered and analyzed, and other companies can recommend and use machine learning algorithms to recommend maybe products. You've searched for a product, a catalog, or what kind of magazines you might be interested in, or even what kind of posts or videos you might be interested in based on the analytics they have on you. And this can be used in areas such as marketing, businesses, logistics, when you talk about demand and supply chain, for the internet, when you want to do social media analytics, for risk management, when you want to do things like fraud detection, and also the government, when they want to detect terrorism and also detect some kind of financial defaulting, credit loan defaults, and also money laundering. So all these are applications of data science broken down into much more segregated analytics, and we can see the reason why there's so much data. And much data means it requires a lot of data scientists and analysts, because the data is going to keep getting larger. So once again, that's a quick refresher on data science and why it's important and significant in the present day, and why it's going to be a challenge in the future if there's a shortage of very good and professional data analysts. See you in the next lesson.